Welcome back from the break, and now we're getting into the hot topic of the week. And the question for this week is, should the ICC introduce the two-tier model for Test cricket? And I need to hear the thoughts from Chris, Morris and Monde. Chris, let me start with you. Do you agree? Should the ICC implement this model?
I see positives and I see negatives in this. The first thing you don't want to do is dilute the game. And that's when we've seen Zimbabwe play against South Africa, play against New Zealand, and again, absolutely cleaned up. So the last thing you want to do is getting the top test nations going to the minnows, if you want to call them that, and having a 2.5-day test match. You want to still keep the quality. So I understand the top half and the bottom half. Financially, you can't compete with what we call the big three in India, England, and Australia. So I do see a positive, I do see a negative. My question is the only way we're going to fix this, first of all, is the scheduling. Right. If you're going to have all the test teams playing against each other, that's the first thing that they need to look at. It's difficult because you've got tours planned for years in advance. And the other option is, do they remove one-day cricket? Yes, there's a T20 or a one-day cricket World Cup coming to South Africa. But what do they do with that? Because the only way they're going to fit more Test cricket in is if they remove one of the formats. And T20 cricket ain't going anywhere. So
that's true.
There's winners and there's losers in this, unfortunately. So I'm on the fence.
You can't be on the fence. I'm going to push you for an answer.
I'm going to go A-div, B-div. Happy with that. Two-tier. Let's go.
Two-tier? So you're going for it?
Oh, well, the reality is if it was two-tier right now, England would be in the bottom. So yes,
that's true. And that's why England doesn't want this.
Well, that's the fair, right?
Let's do it.
I've been thinking about this all day. And I don't... My answer in the end is yes, two-tier. I agree, because I like to think about it in terms of soccer terms, relegation, promotion, which can be a good thing, especially for the smaller teams who actually can get promoted to the. But the bigger problem, I guess, is what Chris is saying. Australia, England, and India don't want to get relegated, and those guys hold all the power. That's the problem. But I do agree in terms of what we saw with Zimbabwe. Our B team beat them so easily when Mulder got 300 odd. New Zealand just beat them by innings in 360 runs. No one wants to see that in Test cricket. We need a bit of a balance where teams are very competitive. I loved watching India versus England this series. I think the Ashes is going to be awesome. I think South Africa versus Australia was a great Test match. It was a great advertisement for Test cricket. So there certainly is a thing where you can talk about how do you bring Test cricket back to where it's supposed to be, which is the clinical, where you rank the best players of all time are ranked by what you do in Test cricket mostly. And if you're going to do that, then I think that the top-tier guys should be playing against each other more often. Instead of racking up numbers when I play against Zimbabwe or I play against one of the minnows, maybe I play Bangladesh here at home. So I'm with the two-tier system, but I think it is incumbent on ICC to be able to help the smaller nations grow their cricket and become better, so that at some point they are able to compete with some of the best teams in the world. And how you do that, I think that is the question.
Then that was going to be my question. How do you do that? How does the ICC make sure that teams like Zimbabwe, Bangladesh strengthen their Test side?
Right. I mean, I guess that is the question. And I think, yes, I think in terms of, to your question about one-day cricket, I think everybody should play one-day cricket. If you look at Afghanistan, how good they've been, Bangladesh are very good on their day. They can beat anybody. Where in Test cricket, the gap is much bigger to see. So T20 cricket, anybody can beat anybody on their day. Just one guy can perform and take the game away from you. Whereas in Test cricket is the true sense of where you are as a nation. So one-day cricket, I think everybody plays against everybody. I think in Test cricket, you go two-tier system. And there is obviously the relegation promotion thing, where obviously you reward the guys that do really well in the tier 2, and the guys that do badly in tier 1 go drop and then try and make their way back up.
And I think what it will avoid is the amount of abuse that South Africa got about who they played against to get into the final.
That's true. That's very true, by the way.
Obviously, we went on and won it and showed them why we were there, but it takes that away. You're playing best against best. Whoever gets to the final was the best of the best. Right. So it takes that little bit of doubt away of should they have really been there. You play 27 Test matches, we play 10. We get percentage, we go to the final, and you can complain that you should have been there. So it takes that away completely out of it. So two-tier system might be the way to go. It's harsh on the smaller nations because they've historically been around for so long. So to be harsh on them, but at the end of the day, it gives you someone to play for.
Also, there's this thing that comes when people have these debates about how do you make a country better? Do you play against the best players in the world and get crushed every other weekend and then try to improve? Going that way, does that crush the morale of the team? Or do you say you play against the best, you learn, you get better by doing that? I think we'll talk about SA20 later. I think part of it is that when you get guys that are very good top-tier players who are mingling with the younger guys who are trying to grow their game, you learn a lot from guys who are better than you, who are more experienced than you. But usually that's within your team,
Yeah.
not the opposition beating you every other weekend. So there's that thing. How do you improve Zimbabwe, for example? Is it by playing the best players in the world, or is it by saying to them, yo, we don't want you guys to get beaten by an innings and 350 runs every other weekend, right? Because that crashes morale. But how is it that we can get you guys to improve as a nation while you still play against the best teams in the world? So that's the difficult part.
Can let them play.
We are out of time.
I had a
We
good
are out
point,
of
but I'll
time.
leave it
Well,
there.
well said, well said.